Busters! Ready, go! Hey guys, KRX50 here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the Buster Gear Series 03 Sougan Blade from Tokimei Sentai Go Busters. This is the second main sidearm of Red Buster, Blue Buster, and Yellow Buster, and simply includes the Sougan Blade. So, here it is in binoculars mode, which is derived from the name Sougan, which is derived from Sougankyo, which means binoculars. So this is a pair of binoculars that you've got that is, well, a little bit more toyetic than the Ichigan Buster, because a lot of this doesn't quite look like normal binoculars, especially because of all this detail and all this shining colors, especially this part up here. And it's also a unique style of binoculars because you got the two lenses kind of jutting out instead of kind of being more aligned with the main body. So, like before, it's got a color scheme of black, metallic blue, and silver, but there's also some regular flat blue on it as well. And you've also got a little bit more, you got some red here, but this is red plastic and not red paint, and this is because of these parts around here. Once again, you've got a silver Go Buster symbol right there. And similarly to the Ichigan Buster, the lenses are once again metallic yellow covered with clear plastic. You've got this button here, which will be for activating sounds, and one interesting thing to note is that with these two, it looks like they're both buttons, but only this one is a button, which is something that confuses me, because if they make this a button, why not make this one as well? This one doesn't even do anything. You also got the back, which has the kind of two eye holes for if these were real binoculars, as well as a display screen showing a shot of a building. You also got this here, which is a connection joint, which I'll get into later. And on the bottom you have these two red buttons, which will be for the mode switching. So, starting off, we can turn it on with this switch right here. Have a light there. So, while it's just regular like this, the activation button will give you 3 byte phrases. So I'll just show them to you from this angle. One from C. There. Let me just do that again, because I forgot that with these there are a little bit of pauses between them. So one from Chi and Nick. One from Gorisaki Banana. And one from Celeste. And these repeat in the same order. So then you can press down this button, which will pop up this light, and this will give you a searching sound. And for whatever reason, with mine, and I don't know if it's with any others, it seems like the light is kind of off-center, as you can see there. But it's not really so much of a problem. So that's all you get while in binoculars mode. So switch it to blade mode with the two buttons. First you hold down this one, then you fold out this part, then take this one, fold out, and fold out the blade. So now you have it in blade mode, which is pretty unique, and I guess it's a smart idea to use something like binoculars that have these two long parts that jut out and even a length part in the middle, and then just combine all that length into a blade. And this just, the only new detail here is the blade itself, which is a small fold-out blade. It actually has some writing on it. It has Mode 001 binoculars. This has got this sticker with some details along it. Now, of course, as is pretty typical, it's got part of it hard plastic and part of it is rubbery plastic. And the blade is, of course, short because it flips out. However, one thing I want to point out is that this is not supposed to be a sword. This is supposed to be a combat knife, so having a short blade is not such a bad thing. Of course, it could be longer, but with the flip-out blade, there's not much you can do. I'm personally not that fond of flip-out blades on toys because that really limits how long they can be. So anyway, onto the lights and sounds. You've got a basic slashing sound. Well, it's like this. And then the It's Time for Buster finishing attack, which you get by pressing down this button.
It's time for Buster.
And like with Ichigan Buster, you can repeat that sound by pressing the button again. And so that's it on its own. However, as indicated by the connecting joints and by what I talked about in my last review, it can connect with the Ichigan Buster. So I'm just going to turn this on. So first, to prep the Ichigan Buster, you just have to remove the lens from the end. And to prep the Sougan blade, using two buttons, you move this one position inward and then move this one position outward. So then it's ready. And I'm going to see if I can move the camera a little and get you a full view of it. So you have to slide this part into here, then hook this onto the end, like so.
It's time for Special Buster.
So there it said it's time for Special Buster, and what you have here is the Ichigan Buster Special Buster mode. This is a combined super blaster of the two weapons. So here's a full view of it. It does look a little bit awkward with this kind of gap here, but on the whole I actually think it's a pretty cool combination. Because it's rare that a Sentai team gets two sidearms, and it's even rarer that those sidearms would combine. And an interesting thing here is that you've got this lens here, kind of like a targeting scope, and this lens for firing. Although one thing I actually also want to mention is how one of the little downsides about this is how you've got this part that just is black and doesn't match with the rest of it. And of course, you can repeat the sound by pressing the trigger again. And just a view with the light. Actually, I'm just going to do it one more time because you're not actually supposed to have this out.
It's time for Special Buster.
So there's that. And it is pretty nice that this locks into place in 2 positions, because that really means that it holds in place. And so you just release it using these. And just simply... And so that's the sound you get when you turn it back into binoculars mode. So, on the whole, this is a pretty good weapon too. It doesn't do quite as much as the ET Gun Buster, but it does benefit the ET Gun Buster because of them combining for the ET Gun Buster Special Buster mode. And yeah, it is short for a bladed weapon, but that is kind of typical for these kind of things, and it isn't so bad when you consider that this is supposed to be a combat knife and not a sword. And once again, you have some nice details, nice paintwork, and I guess just the only other thing that I probably would have had changed is some way so that this could match up color-wise with the rest of this, because it does look just a little bit strange. But if you get the ET Gun Buster, you might as well get this. It isn't quite as recommended as the ET Gun Buster, but for what it is still a good toy and it is fun. So I can recommend it on levels of being a Go Busters fans having the ET Gun Buster, or like with ET Gun Buster, if you're a fan of Spy Gear type toys that can transform from one thing to another. So, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more videos. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.